Hello, welcome, beautiful, magical, powerful beings and supporters of the divine feminine. I'm Valerie, and welcome back to week 6 of the Divine Feminine Project, inspired by spiritual catalyst Teal Scott. So, we are now at week 6, hooray! And this one is about exploring the theme of motherhood. So, I'm going to quickly recap the last week. This last week has gone by really quickly in a lot of ways. I've been apartment sitting somewhere without, internet or anything, and I have also just started a new job, and so there's been a lot going on. But last week was week 5, and that was entitled Seduce Yourself. And that one for me was all about, you guessed it, seducing yourself. Yeah, it really was though. Because I had been working with the theme of sexuality for a couple of weeks and was thinking about connecting with myself authentically in a sexual way, and I was like, well, if it's for me and it's not for anybody else, I need to find myself to be sexy. And I need to do that by doing things that I love and that make me feel good, and that, when I say turn me on, I mean, that make me come alive and make me excited, make me passionate. So I have been doing that, and I really do feel like I've been connecting more with that side of myself. Now, have I been like the ideal picture of this all week? No, I've been working it into my life, just like all of us are doing. All of us are allowing these themes to percolate and to start to integrate into our lives, and none of it's going to be perfect, and that's okay. So that's where I have been at for the last week. Now, I'm really excited about going on to exploring motherhood, and it does seem like a natural progression as well, sexuality. And really changing that view for me of sexuality to be so tied in with creative energy, because sexuality seems, so taboo sometimes that we just don't even go near it. Well, really, it's life force. It's our creative ability. And so Teal recommends exploring motherhood by, looking at that theme, what that means to you, and then also exploring your own relationship to your mother. So what I think would be a good idea, which I'm going to try doing, are kind of doing a brainstorm on motherhood. What do I think of motherhood as being? And then looking at my relationship with my mother, seeing how that relationship really defined a lot of the ways that I think about motherhood, and then redefining it however I want to. I think that this era in our human evolution is about intentional living. And so there are things, for many generations that were just kind of passed on by rote, by the fact that they were just learned. And nobody wanted to turn their back on those ways and say, I disagree with that. Well, it's extremely powerful to disagree with something that your parents did or did not do, because they're basically your God figures growing up. And I think that deconstructing that idea of infallibility, perhaps it's already happened for many people, of infallibility, and also, if you could say the opposite way as well, if you have totally vilified your parents, understanding that there's more to it than this polarized view of light or dark. So personally for me, my mom passed away a few years ago, and so did both of my grandmothers, and it was really significant for me because, when I thought about having kids of my own, I don't have any kids of my own, I wanted my mom to be there so much. I have had a really, really, really close relationship with her, and it had its issues just like any relationship has, but at the end of the day, I really knew that my mom loved me very deeply, and that she was really thrilled to be my mom. And that is such a gift. out, because there were a lot of issues that we had, and yet I could come back to that whenever I needed to. And I even have a picture of her actually up here, like, looking at me right now, and it's really cool. Working with ancestral magic and ancestral prayer is very powerful. I started incorporating that into my life a little over a year ago. And that just means praying to your ancestors on like a daily basis. And giving them thanks and understanding that, you know, when somebody passes on, they're reconnected with source, love, energy, and you can continue to develop your relationship with them even though they've passed on, and that you can pray to them. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be getting into this next week. It's all about motherhood, and there are probably some intense fears for some women about motherhood. The actual act of giving birth is something that I am educating myself on immensely, because it's really strange to me that, like, often we don't think about it until it's directly relevant to our lives, and then we're like, oh shit. Now what do we do? So think about motherhood, and don't let it be restricted to the most literal definition. Think about it in terms of, like, okay, what have you been nurturing inside of yourself? How can you nurture those things and give birth to them, but then also mother them? And once you look at the things, you know, that you maybe dislike or would change about how you were treated as a child by your own mother, then realize that you have the power now as an adult to mother that wounded inner child and heal that wounded inner child and integrate that into your being now. That is something that's really powerful to me, is the idea that, you know, kids know how to express themselves so well, you know, without holding pain and disease in their bodies. A lot of the time they're able to just express themselves and let it go. And they learn through example and through teaching to repress, and, you know, that's how we get a lot of issues. And I think reconnecting with that way and healing that little kid part of us who at some point got told, don't express that, you know, repress it, and being there for them is one of the more powerful things we can do on our healing journey. So, okay, I'm going to cut it off now. I'm getting rambly, but thank you for watching, everybody. Please share your ideas on motherhood in the comments below. Click to subscribe to this channel to follow this project and more projects to come. Thank you. Namaste.